Hey everyone, welcome back to another election prediction video. I thank you for joining us, and again, apologize, just like I did in the last video, for not having the election night graphics like I do in some election predictions. I promise I'm going to get to that, but I need a little bit extra help in the American elections team to be able to consistently do those types of graphics in our behind the scenes team. We're working on that as I speak. But at this moment, I'm going to be doing an election prediction of Kamala Harris versus Donald Trump, one of which would be a very interesting matchup, but could be seen as very potential to many Republicans and Democrats. I'm going to start by characterizing these safe states for Kamala Harris, and these are just states that I believe aren't even up for grabs for the Republicans, and are fully in agreement in most scenarios that Donald Trump would lose these states. I did give Donald Trump the 2nd District of Maine, though, but Kamala Harris wins the 2 electoral votes from the majority of the state. But there are many of the states here that I believe would be wins for Kamala Harris, despite, even though her approval rating is very, very low at this point. I believe majority of these all of these would be safe states for Kamala Harris, and all of these would be safe states for Donald Trump. And yes, I am giving Donald Trump even that 2nd district in Nebraska. At this point, though, this is my prediction, finishing up those safe states for Donald Trump. And I'll even give him Iowa as a pretty safe state, solid red in recent elections. And I already gave Donald Trump Texas because I don't even believe that Kamala Harris could win the state of Texas. Ultimately, I believe it'd be too hard of a challenge for her, but Donald Trump ultimately would win the state of Texas, in my opinion. Let's begin with the state of Ohio, one in which has gone red in recent history, and I believe would continue with Donald Trump winning the 17 electoral votes from the state of Ohio. We're seeing Tim Ryan run a campaign against J.D. Vance in the state of Ohio as we speak for this midterm cycle in 2022. Ultimately, J.D. Vance is leading and ultimately will probably win this race, and the state of Ohio has leaned red in recent history, and I expect just that to continue. I won't say that a Democrat can't win in Ohio, but Kamala Harris and how disapproved of she is by the nation, I don't believe would be someone who could win the state of Ohio. We will now go to North Carolina, a state in which, has gone red in both 2016 and 2020, as well as 2012. The last time that North Carolina went blue was 2008 in that win for Barack Obama against John McCain. But I believe the state of North Carolina continuously will go red. Donald Trump would win the state of North Carolina, even though Donald Trump did, this was the last state called for Trump in the 2020 presidential election. I believe Donald Trump would still win the state of North Carolina, 16 electoral votes from there. And ultimately, my reasoning behind that is Kamala Harris is such a disapproved of person overall that I don't believe she could win. Another state that I'm going to characterize for Donald Trump is Florida, and it's 30 electoral votes. 30 electoral votes. Ron DeSantis is Ron DeSantis' home state. He's the governor of Florida, and it will most likely be reelected in 2022 unless something significant happens to lose him that election. And ultimately, Donald Trump would win that race in Florida for its 30 electoral votes. As you may also have noticed, I didn't point this out in other videos, but these electoral votes are different than 2020. The census has came out, and these ultimately are the final numbers for that. And so if you're noticing and you see Texas and Florida with different numbers, that is why. Another state that I believe is characterized safe for Donald Trump would be the state of Wisconsin, a state in which he won in 2016, Joe Biden flipped in 2020, and ultimately, I believe that Donald Trump would be able to flip it back from Biden from Kamala in 2024, winning 10 electoral votes from there. And this race is one in which I just believe Trump would traditionally do better off in the state of Wisconsin. I don't believe Trump is the best candidate for Republicans, but I do believe that he would do traditionally well with that state. A state that I will characterize as one of which is a win for Kamala Harris is the state of New Hampshire. For electoral votes from there, I believe Kamala Harris would win the state of New Hampshire, and it's for electoral votes. I believe it would be a fairly close race, though. I do believe that Trump could flip this, but I believe ultimately, in the society that we're in today, that Kamala Harris would win the state of New Hampshire. Despite many things in New Hampshire that could lead to a Trump win, I believe a more moderate Republican would be more likely to win the state of New Hampshire. Let's next go to the state of Nevada, a state in which has gone red and blue, and it's just flip-flopped, but in recent history, both in 2016 and 2020, the state did go blue. For Joe Biden and for Hillary Clinton, the state of Nevada did go blue, ultimately being a close race, though, and I believe ultimately that Kamala Harris would continue this trend, winning the state of Nevada's 6 electoral votes. The next state that I'm going to characterize is the state of Georgia. Georgia is one that Donald Trump really focused on in the 2020 presidential election and ultimately lost the state. He then put up a challenger against Governor Brian Kemp after Brian Kemp certified the results for the primary in 2022 to face Brian Kemp. That was David Perdue, the former U.S. Senator, and David Perdue failed. Brian Kemp won that nomination, and will face Stacey Abrams in the fall of this year while I'm filming this. But ultimately, I believe Donald Trump would be able to win the state of Georgia back from 2020, and we're going to be in a red cycle. Kamala Harris is so disapproved of. I don't believe the numbers are in her favor to win a race like this. Another race that I'm going to classify for Donald Trump is the state of Pennsylvania, which puts him over the 270 electoral votes he needs to become the 47th and, was the 45th, now the 47th president of the United States of America, 19 electoral votes from the state of Pennsylvania. And it's a state in which I just believe that Donald Trump would be able to win versus Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is someone who's very disapproved of and would be a very weak candidate for the Democrats to pick in 2024. Ultimately, I believe Biden would have a better shot at this race than Kamala Harris would. But I will say that Kamala Harris would be able to win the state of Michigan's 15 electoral votes. This puts her at 246. Michigan is a state in which I believe is relatively blue. Trump was able to win it in 2016, but I don't believe he'd be able to do that in 2024, flipping it back from Joe Biden from 2020 into Kamala Harris's favor in 2024. It would stay the same way. I believe Kamala Harris would win. The state of Arizona, though, I do believe Donald Trump could flip, and that would put him at 292 electoral votes to Kamala Harris's 246. This election prediction is my final one at this point as of the date that I'm filming this in the summer of 2022. The midterms are in just a few months, and we'll really have to see how those turn out before we can start talking about 2022 much. But at this point, I do believe that this would be the final result between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. I believe Donald Trump would win a pretty solid victory versus Kamala Harris. I believe he would win, but he wouldn't win more electoral votes than he did when he won in 2016. He would only win with 292 electoral votes, 2 more than many people expected Biden to win with in 2020. Many people thought that Biden would win with 290 electoral votes, but winning the state of Georgia put him at that 306, making an exact tie, but the opposite direction of 2016. But ultimately, again, I do believe that Donald Trump would win this race against Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is a weak candidate for the Democrats. I don't believe that she would be the best candidate for them to put up, and ultimately, I'm not sure that they would put her up. But this is my prediction if they did, and I, again, appreciate you all for watching. As I've said in other videos, if you are interested in helping out this summer and fall in election prediction analysis videos or anywhere in the American elections team, make sure to DM us on Instagram. That will be linked in the description down below. I would love to talk to you there, and we can get you hooked up and get you into a good place for the team to help American elections continue to grow. Thank you all again so much for watching, and I hope you all have a great day and continue to watch more American elections videos and political analysis videos as they come out in the next few days and weeks. See ya.